outside the gates, it was thugs all over that place, robbing the hell out of Diana Ross's constituents. You hear me? I mean, they was thugging them, beating them in their heads, stealing their wallets, doing all kinds of shit from the 80s. Okay? Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. And if you are not already a part of our book club, please remember to hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes you, can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about Call Her Miss Ross, the unauthorized biography of Diana Ross by our dude, J.R.T. You ain't never read a book like this before. Diana Ross of the 80s will probably best be remembered for 2 Central Park concerts in July 1983. In a way, that's a pity because even though the first concert proved memorable, both performances showed more of her weaknesses than her strengths. Much has been written about these shows, but not about why Diana felt compelled to do a free concert in Central Park in the first place. Now, before we go forward, y'all, why you ninjas ain't tell me? No doubt, given her Streisand fascination, she was inspired by Barbara's A Happening in Central Park concert come album in July 1967. There is only one person on the face of this planet that Diana gives a whit about, reaffirmed John Mackey. Barbara Streisand and I always believed the real reason she did the concert was because Barbara had done one. I'm sure they still don't know one another, Diana and Barbara. Miss Ross could never handle a social encounter with Streisand. She would be too jumpy, nervous, and intimidated. It's said that the more mention of Streisand's name unnerved Miss Ross. Once an employee of hers and one of her lawyers were waiting in Miss Ross's office when the employee mused, I wonder what Miss Ross thinks about Barbara Streisand's new album. Oh, Lord, this nigga here, don't you know that never talk about the Barbara Streisand in the presence of Miss Ross? Don't you know that by now? Don't you know that is a trigger word for that lady? Apparently, Diana's staff knows that any discussion with her about Barbara Streisand that might lead to a comparison between careers is not a good idea. CBS broadcast and recorded Streisand's Central Park special in 1967. Child, a year later, remember when Berry DeGordy got the notion, ooh, funny girl about to come out with Barbara Streisand. Let's put Diana Ross in the booth and sing all the funny girl songs before the soundtrack comes out. You know that shit was a flippity floppity. You know it was. Why would he do that? Why would you do that, Berry Gordy? I know Barbara Streisand is sitting back somewhere like, that bitch will never be me. I'm just very, confused as to why Diana Ross is not happy with being Diana Ross. Why do you have to compete, even though she's very competitive? But why do you have to compete to be somebody else? Just be you. And I don't get that. By the 80s, many of Diana's show business peers had connected themselves to charitable causes. For instance, Stevie Wonder was a strong supporter of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Center for Social Change. Sammy Davis was known for his support of the Harlem Darling Children's Services, the United Negro College Fund, the NAACP, and Operation Push. Diana Ross ain't doing that. She ain't about to be connected. That's too motherfucking black. Okay? Anything that damn black, she don't want to be part of. Okay? I love you. I love you, Diana, girl. But the truth of the matter is, if it's black, you don't really, or if it's too black, you don't really want to fuck with. When Ebony Magazine, however, asked Diana what charity she had been involved with, she had to answer, I don't have one. I'm not involved in any project. That didn't bode well for a woman so concerned with a public image. When Michael Jackson became identified in the media as a humanitarian, Diana must have been spurred on to do something to rectify her selfish public persona. Soon she started the Diana Ross Foundation, which, according to the quickly released notices to the press, was an organization through which Miss Ross will channel her philanthropic activities. The first philanthropic activity would be a free concert in Central Park. Elton John had done one in 1980 and Simon and Garfunkel in 1981. Produced by Diana Ross Productions company, Anaid, Paramount Pictures would co-produce. 7.5% of the revenue from the sale of promotional items like t-shirts and posters and from the show's cable broadcast and satellite worldwide telecast would be used to reconstruct a children's park to be named after her at 81st Street and Central Park West. It's for the children, she said solemnly. It's my dream. The concert took place at 6 p.m. on July 21st, 1983 on the Great Lawn, a 13-acre expanse in the park. The crowd, officially estimated to be between 350,000 and 400,000, began congregating early in the day. By 11 a.m., more than 4,000 people were already there, many with blankets, picnic baskets, and radios to help while away the time. Alongside the Diana Ross souvenir vendors were busy hawking food, beer, and marijuana. Marijuana at the Diana Ross show? Don't y'all ninjas know that she don't like drugs? She don't like the drugs. Y'all gonna bring marijuana to her official first, effort to be a humanitarian? For her first number, Diana appeared in the midst of a troupe of African garbed dancers. She was wearing what can only be described as a multicolored straw tent, which she soon discarded to reveal an orange form-fitting bodysuit. Bitch, was you there? I wasn't there. All I know is when I seen that lady came out with this little tent, thing, swashbuckling all over the place, beautiful, hair flowing. Y'all see I got my little short Diana Ross thing going on someday. But, all over the place, girl. And when she whipped that shit off, she had that beautiful orange bodysuit on. I don't know how a woman with no tits, no ass, no hips can be that friggin' sexy. No idea how she managed that. Soon that was covered with a sheer orange cape, which blew dramatically in the rising wind. She stood alone on the stage because earlier she made the decision that the band and the background singers should not be seen or even acknowledged. I mean, it ain't like she ain't done it before. Okay, you can't be mad at her over shit that she done already done. Diana sang for 25 minutes on the open stage until the first raindrop appeared. This rainfall grew into such a wild storm that the downpour knocked out electric power for nearly 40,000 homes. All I know was I ain't never seen a weave before. to withstand the rain the way that her weave withstood the rain. Okay, I don't know. I've always wanted to know, was that Diana Ross's real hair? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. She got the rain pouring down on her. Oh my God, she's so sexy. Then she got the bodysuit on, that's hitting the bodysuit. I'm like, oh, is that an areola there? Oh my God, she is friggin' beautiful. Wet, okay? Wet. That's how bad Diana DeRoss was. But she kept going. Far from being daunted, Diana regarded the storm as one more challenge. I'd waited a lifetime to get here, she told the drenched but cheerful crowd. And I'm not going anywhere. With her hair slicked back, makeup dripping, and costume clinging to her body, Ross in the rain was an unforgettable sight. Just as awe-inspiring was the sight of her audience, so transfixed and riveted that it too gladly endured the elements for its star. Even the fans, ankle deep in mud, booed and hissed as the park officials pleaded with Ross to stop the show. Mayor Koch sat huddled under an umbrella for most of the concert. As Diana sang Endless Love in the rain, a mysterious male voice from offstage duetted with her. Come on, wait a minute, hold on. Diana, you couldn't have shared the stage with the nigga you was doing a duet with. Girl, now that's selfish. Instead of you looking lovingly into your duet partner's eyes while he sings the male part, you're just standing there swaying, my first love, your every breath that I take. Crazy girl, stop it. Stop it. He's singing his and he ain't nowhere to be found. Girl. After the performance was officially over, Diana remained on stage to oversee the evacuation of the area. The next day, the New York Times would quote City Commissioner of Parks and Recreation, Henry J. Stern, as calling Miss Ross magnificent in calming the crowd and gradually emptying the Great Lawn. Media reaction was swift and favorable. So let me tell you what Diana chose to do, right? She back somewhere in some hotel room reading all the newspaper. Oh, they love me, I love them. She's enjoying all of this admiration, okay? And, something in her mind goes, well, maybe I should do another concert the next day. If they love me wet, they definitely gonna love me dry. So I'm going to come back tomorrow and I'm going to do another one just so they could tell me that they love me again. The concert was tentatively rescheduled for that evening, depending on favorable weather and the Great Lawn not being too muddy. When she learned that the concert would take place, she debated about canceling the dancers because she apparently felt that her fans did not want dancers. They only wanted Diana. She did, however, change her mind. Attendance for the rescheduled concert was down by less than half to about 150,000. Thursday, people had been packed shoulder to shoulder. On Friday, some areas were nearly empty. For the broadcast of Friday performance, Diana added a montage of morning after newspaper accolades to show her bravery and dedication. Child. Now, we know this is self-serving because I explained to you earlier that she basically was enjoying all the positives that she was getting from doing the concert in the rain. Okay, she did not want that moment to stop. So she felt it was necessary for her own self-absorption to do it again. Okay, yeah, I want to do it again. Okay, and I might not put you dancing niggas in it because I don't know if I want you there. In greeting her audience, she seemed genuinely moved by their enthusiasm, but it soon turned out to be a different kind of crowd from the day before. Perhaps they were not united by the rigors of the weather, perhaps. Can you feel me? Can you feel me? She called out. It was an odd gesture that seemed somehow egocentric, but most people didn't know what to make of it. I have a dream come true, she kept repeating. I want you to listen to me. She seemed edgy. When I do a quiet song, it's important that you can hear me, she said to a noisy crowd. Her manner was petulant and condescending, and there was no humor or warmth in her approach. A telling moment occurred every time a hapless, nervous wardrobe woman, obviously intimidated by Miss Ross, came out to drape her balls in a sequined cloak or feathered jacket. Diana ignored the assistant every time, never looking at her, thanking her, or acknowledging her presence in any way because, as she kept insisting melodramatically, this may be the most important moment of my life. Entertainers can feel their audience's energy. You know, I consider myself an entertainer because you do come over here to the videos and you guys are sometimes entertained. I'm not always, yakety funny, but I do consider myself in some way or another entertaining you, okay? I do appreciate your, your continued support also, my loves. So any rate, I guess she felt that the energy from the crowd was lackluster because her performance was lackluster. She started off energetically, then after a while, it just started trailing off. I don't know why she wouldn't think that it would trail off because for real, you out there singing in the rain, girl, who knows what kind of cooties you got out there, okay? The flu is always waiting for a nut to knock down. I don't believe that I would be, eager to jump out there the next day. I probably would have left it the way it was, but Diana, being so full of herself, she wanted the moment to continue, okay, and that shit backfired. She pointed the microphone to the audience midway through songs, directing them to sing in the guise of conducting a sing-along when actually she was just being lazy. She kept asking the unseen conductor, where are we? Where are we now? As if she was unprepared. When she made her costume changes, she seemed more interested in strutting about the stage than in her music. Certainly, this was not the Diana Ross her fans had admired for so many years. It was as if a self-indulgent imposter had somehow taken over. We have a few minutes left, she called out to people as they started to leave the park. What do you want to hear? I don't have to disappear. I don't want to leave. You're wonderful. I love you, she cried out. Bless you all. You've been so good to me. Finally and mercifully, it was over. When exiting, Diana ran to associate producer Greg Seals. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for taking care of everything. The dude looked at her and said, my God, Diana, we're over budget. $500,000 for a charity event. Child, oh my God, and this is the worst part. Girl, oh God, this is the worst part, right? So you got the people leaving out of Central Park, right? But this time, the ninjas was ready. Child, outside the gates, it was thugs all over that place, robbing the hell out of Diana Ross's constituents. You hear me? I mean, they was thugging them, beating them in their heads, stealing their wallets, doing all kinds of shit from the 80s.
The cost of the 2 Central Park concerts totaled $1.8 million. The city of New York paid $650,000 for police and cleanup services. And there turned out to be no money left for the playground, which was to cost $250,000. Nicholas Pileggi wrote an article for New York Magazine, February 1982, entitled, "The Humanitarian Effort Went Awry, and How This Fiasco Provides a Rare, Tantalizing Peek into ... the imperial style and spending habits of superstars like Diana Ross. Diana spent $12,000 on limousines, though she had her own Rolls Royce available. Catering, which Diana had estimated at $10,000, originally or cost $47,341. First class airline tickets came to $64,000. Security expenses jumped from an estimated $17,000 to an actual $55,969,000.
It cost an incredible $431 to dry clean the orange sequins jumpsuit Diana wore in the rain, which she didn't need for the second show. $260 was spent for her nails, one of which broke off during her performance. Now that the ego trip was over, Diana had to deal with the reality of what she had done. With the first concert, she had certainly accomplished a lot. She rectified a public relations problem by becoming a humanitarian, and in the process got to be a brave trooper as well. She garnered enormous publicity and goodwill. But that second goddamn concert, ninja. But rather than end it there so that there would be money left over for the children's park, she had to take it a step further, because for Diana Ross, worldwide attention is impossible to resist. She had to do another show for more fans, thereby eating up any profit from the first concert. After the second show, her public image had become worse than it was before she had even started down the path of benevolency. Or as amused Berry Gordy told a friend, way to go, Diane. That's not funny, bitch. This fiasco had become a serious image problem. Frantically, she complained to anyone who would listen that she had to find a way out of this quickly as possible. One of Diana's lawyers, Peter Tuffo, decided to bring in Howard Rubenstein into the picture. Rubenstein is like the Olivia Pope to all the stars. He said, look, girl, you're going to have to come up off some bread, girl. You're going to have to do it, girl. I'm sorry. Diana was like, okay, how much? Let's go over there. Let's talk to Ed Koch. Let's see how this is going to work out. A half hour after leaving Ross, Rubenstein met with Mayor Koch. Rubenstein has remembered Koch replying, $250,000. You got it. Okay, you got it. But I need you to fix all this. Okay, I need you to, we're going to have some balloons and a big pair of scissors, some crepe paper. Diana Ross going to be there. She's going to be much more humbled by this extravaganza, but you got it. $250,000? Okay. Because that's the amount that it would cost to make the park. It was what they called in show business a done deal. But it didn't make sense to have the transaction take place quietly between Diana and Koch, and then have her generosity announced subtly in a press release. It would end the way it started, with another major media opportunity. The next day, Diana held a press conference at City Hall and handed Hisner a check for $250,000. He kissed her on the cheek, and she glowed as photographers frantically snapped pictures and reporters asked her probing questions like, "Where did the money come from, Miss Ross?" She said that the check is from my own earnings. We all got rained on, but this is for the kids. It's not for anyone but the children of New York. All I wanted was the park. This is where I'm going to take it back to the people from Detroit who made comments in my comment section down below in the panty section, right? I cannot take up for Diana, when it comes down to the bullshit. I will, always call it for what it is. Some of you guys be like, "Nay, you always dick riding. You always dick." First of all, Diana ain't got a dick. Okay, at least not one that I've heard of. I do not agree with her doing the second show at Central Park. I think it was self-serving, and I think it was very selfish of her to consider the New York children before she would consider the Detroit children. Okay, yeah, Diana, this just does not look good. I can't save it. I can't, throw some sugar on it. It's just Not a good look. Diana Ross, with the pair of Central Park concerts behind her, embarked on a lengthy national tour from August 5th to November 16th, 1983. At any rate, she's on tour now, right? And they're speaking of the many lavish things that she requires in her dressing room in order to perform. So she on these tours of one-nighters, okay? It's important that I say this, of one-nighters, okay? And in her dressing room, she requires a bottle of Hennessy XO Cognac. Girl, these are one-nighters, okay? 4 bottles of Raffuno Classico Gold Label Chianti. I don't even know what that is. Is that alcohol, y'all? Assorted sodas, cola, 7-Up, Perrier, lemons and limes, assorted fresh fruit, cheese and crackers, coffee and tea, deli tray, hot meal available, Chinese restaurant available for takeout if requested, and 10 white towels never been used. So that's me too. I ain't got no problems with white unused towels, okay? Because I'm just learning at 50 years old that when you use colored towels, that dye get into your vagina when you start washing, okay? And then next minute you know, you like, oh, wait a minute, hold on, something ain't right here. What's this? Now let's move on to October 17th, 1983. Following the post-Central Park concert tour, Diana Ross sat down to compose what has become known among her former employees as the letter. On Diana Ross Stationery, 21 East 63rd Street, New York, New York, that letter read, "To whom it may concern. The following people are no longer in my employment." 8 names were listed. If I let an employee go, it's because either their work or their personal habits are not acceptable to me. I do not recommend these people. In fact, if you hear from these people and they use my name as a reference, I wish to be contacted. Let me tell you something. According to the book, letters like this are written all the time. We know this because the damn Steve Harvey had wrote a letter to his crew, and that's when we found out that he was an asshole. The letter had gotten released to the public, and we was like, what? We knew you was an asshole from the time you was wearing that fake ass high top fade on the Steve Harvey show, and we all knew that you was bald headed. Girl, I'm glad you let that wig go. We was like, what? Steve Harvey is an asshole? Oh, it couldn't have been Steve. It must have been that Mata Harry. You know, because I don't like her wife, his wife. Wait a minute, do I call her Mata Harry? No, I call her Lady Heroin. That's what I call her, Lady Heroin. You know she a Libra. Anyway, the reason for this letter is this. Some information was leaked, okay? And it must have been embarrassing to Diana Ross because she surmised that it was only her office staff that knew that information. She sat them down. Which one of you hussies leaked it, okay? Which one? If y'all don't tell me who leaked that information, then I'm firing all you bitches. So they must have grew up like me, knowing that snitches get stitches, right? So all 8 of the people got fired, right? 2 of the people had quit her like years ago. So they shouldn't even have been on the list, right? And 2 of the people left in good standing. So they're like, why is my name on the motherfucking list? That you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. My naysayers, my patron loves. You babies, have a good one. Peace. You Ain't never read a book like this before.